Welcome back to College Hill Farm. Well, today I'm working on Crystal's pond. We need to do a new pond filter, and you don't have to buy a pond filter, okay? We've got a goldfish pond, and you saw it at the opening. I fed them a little bit. Those goldfish were 19 cents a piece, and we bought 5 of them 4 or 5 years ago, and 4 of them are still alive. One died, don't know why, but one died. So we've got 4 of those goldfish, and they're about 8 to 10 inches long. So I need to make them a new filter system. We've got a filter system in there that we homemade. I'm going to make a little better homemade one today, and all I'm going to use is regular old filter floss, this stuff, and a pet food container. That's it. That's all you got to have. You don't have to spend hundreds of dollars on a fancy filter. I've got a couple of pieces of carbon filter I'll stick in this too to help absorb the any bad stuff that's in there. But for the most part, this pond doesn't have a problem. It stays nice and clear. And right now the filter is full, the old filter, and I'll let you see me take it up, and then I'll go ahead and build this new filter before I take the old one up. Okay, what I've got the biggest drill bit that'll go in my little battery powered drill, and I'm going to put holes and some of them broke through, but don't matter. Some on this side. Okay, I'll probably put a couple right here in the front too. The more holes, the easier it is for water to get in and out of there. Okay, that's it. That's all the holes you need. Now I'm going to take a big spade bit and put a hole here in the top for my pump line to go through. Get down in there. Got this set where it'll strip. Okay. You want a good size hole, so I'll make another one right here. You can make too big a hole, but I don't think that's too big. And if I have to break another one out, where'd my bit go? My bit came out. Well, it'll be alright. This is not rocket science. Now, why did I pick a pet food container? Because the lid locks down, okay? You'll see why in just a minute, but the lid locks down on this. That filter floss is loose, so it will go out into your pond if you don't contain it. Okay, let's get over here and get the old filter out. I have a hard time getting up and down, so I'm going to pull me a chair over here so I can get up and down without killing myself. what I'm going to try and do is grab the pump cable. See there? There it is. Well, poop. Okay, let's try that again. What I don't want to do is stir all this water up like crazy. Come here. There we go. Okay, that is the old filter. And what it is, it's just an ice cream jug. We have used this for years. Can you see it? Okay, we've used this thing for years. Right now I've got the power off. So, set this off. See, that is full of stuff. It's going to go in the garbage because the lid's wore out and I can't use the lid no more. So let's get ready to get this pump going. Get that baby off. See here, that's full. I'll go and rinse this out and then come back and we'll get ready to finish making the new filter. Okay, something I didn't do was make a hole for the electric cord. So I'm going to do that right quick. Here's my filter that was on this, all nice and clean. But I've got to make a hole for the electric cord on here, and the electric cord has got to go through here. Okay, so I'm going to cut a hole right there. You got to tighten your drill bit down, Joel. Cut a hole there. This to break out. Okay. So I've got a free place to stick my cord through. Okay, I'm going to cut a little bit on that and make it a little wider. It's just flexing too much for my drill to do it. So, one thing I don't need is I don't need that seal, but it's solid in there, so I can't get it out. So, yeah. I think that'll be enough to get my cord through there. Okay. Now, let's see how my pump fits down in there. Well, maybe a problem. Ain't that a pain in the butt? The cord needs to be longer. See, always these problems. Aggravating. That means if the cord's not longer, I can't put that down in that tub and do the filter at the same time. Time for a little thinking. Okay, got over in there, moved some rocks, got me a couple extra feet of cord. Now, the way this sits, we'll sit in here all the way at the bottom. Okay, like that. And the cord will go through the lid right here. Get in there. See that? The cord just goes right through the lid. And then when I close this down, the top just sticks right through that. Now, let's do the stuff to get it filtering. We'll start off with the little pump filter. And by the way, this little filter is just 20 bucks at the Harbor Freight. Okay, it's not an expensive pond pump. All right, so now let's put the filter on, that little filter, because this little filter wouldn't last a week filtering this size pond. This is a 110 gallon pond. It's not really a pond liner. That is that's a 110 gallon stock tank. Okay, so that's what it is. Now we'll take this and get it down in here. And there it is, all the way down. Now we'll start putting in our filter floss with just a piece of activated charcoal filter, and I'm going to put it right down in here, right down in this edge, and it will filter some water, but it won't filter all of it. If I use that to filter all of it, the pond would never clear up before this stopped up. So, alright, now we just start stuffing filter floss in the holes here. And you want to stuff it pretty thick. See, this just tears apart if you don't have something to contain it. Alright, now let's put the lid on, move the pump hole, and it's fastened on, and that is ready to put in the pond. So I'm going to put this in the pond, and then we will turn it on. Now, oh, I see something. Do you see that? The floss isn't all the way down, so I'm going to open that back up and push this floss all the way to the bottom. So that's something I'll have to do each time. So see there? I pushed a lot of floss down. So it'll take about 1/3 of a bag of floss. This will last about a month. That's what the other one lasted. Okay, that's about 1/3 of a bag of filter floss. Now I'm going to put this over here and just let it sink. It'll take it a minute to fill with water. Come on. Like I said, it'll take it a minute. Once it gets full of water, it'll sink. think I'll help it a little. Move it around so that the bubbles come out. I hope I don't have to put a rock in it. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to start out by letting the pump run. The pump should pull more water in and it'll make it sink better. Let me go turn the breaker back on. I don't have to put a rock in it. I've never had one do this before. That's okay, I'll put a rock in it and it will sink. It might sink in a few minutes anyway. It's probably got some residual bubbles in it. And all the filter floss is not completely soggy yet. That's what it's supposed to do right there. It's supposed to sit on the bottom and bubble like that. We've got hot weather coming, and the pond, if you don't have it turning over, it will deoxygenate real quick at 90 degrees. So, yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to put a rock on it. Well, poo, I didn't want to have to do that. That's what you run into when you're doing stuff on the fly, trying something different. I'll put a rock on it and it'll sink and there won't be a problem. I may put a rock inside it. And that's probably the best bet, is to put a rock inside. Now, I never imagined having a floating filter, okay? I'm debating whether or not to just make me a little flower on top of it and let it be the filter. I don't know. I may make me a plastic flower and fasten it down to the top of that, and then it becomes a floating flower filter. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how it comes out. That's just a little $20 pump from Harbor Freight. We've used it now with that ice cream bucket for, I think, 4 years. So, and the fish are 4 years old. They're 10 inches long. They're whoppers. So that's the way we've done filters the whole time. We used an ice cream bucket for part of it. At one time we had a filter down in there like that, and it ran to a hose, and the hose ran up and the water trickled down a little waterfall. So yeah, we haven't fixed the waterfall back yet. Of course, I'm sure we'll get to that. But the fish, with this hot weather coming, I wanted to make sure that they had adequate movement of air. You have to bring that water up from the bottom of the pond up to the top so that it can get oxygenated, okay? And this brings the water up and lets everything get good and oxygenated. So now, if you like this stuff, this homesteading, do-it-yourself kind of thing, be certain to come on out to the channel and subscribe. We do this homestead stuff every week, sometimes 1, sometimes 5 videos. Just depends on what's going on in the homestead that week. Now, if you hit the little bell when you come to the channel, it's right up here. It'll notify you when we upload a video. We upload on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Now, it's time for me to go find a rock to put in the bottom of this filter. Love y'all.